Zaffer Books presents The Exiled, written by David Barbaree and read by Jonathan Keeble. Author's Note. Parthia was ancient Rome's rival for more than 2 centuries. It stretched from the Euphrates, past the Caspian Sea, to the Hindu Kush mountain range, and south to the Persian Gulf. It was comprised of modern-day Iran, Iraq, and parts of neighbouring countries, including Turkey and Afghanistan. When not at war, the 2 great empires engaged in the ancient equivalent of a Cold War. Pretenders to the rival's throne were backed, hostages were exchanged, concessions by one were used for political victories at home. We know little about Parthia's internal political history, particularly during the second half of the 1st century AD. Between AD 77 and 80, following Vologases I's 30-year reign, there are references in the record to 3 different successors: Vologases II, Pacorus II, and Artabanus III, which suggests civil strife, but this is only guesswork. In Rome, Nero, the last of the Julio-Claudian emperors, fell from power in AD 68. Vespasian was the last man standing after a short but bloody civil war. He reigned for a decade and established the Flavian dynasty, which would last another 20 years under his sons Titus and Domitian. Under the Flavians, at least 3 men claimed to be the deposed Emperor Nero. Not much information has survived about these so-called false Neros. We know they were thorns in the side of the Flavians, and that one sought refuge and support in Parthia during Titus's reign, but little else. This book is the second in a series inspired by the false Neros. It is set during AD 79 and 80. The extant historical record for this period is mainly comprised of accounts written decades or even centuries after the fact, by men who brought their own personal and political biases to the task of recording history. It is therefore difficult to sift fact from political fiction. Thankfully, novelists do not need to adhere to the same rules as academics. This is a work of fiction. I have taken liberties novelists allow themselves, but I have also strived for a story that is true in its own way, one that fills the gap scholarship cannot, and explores the historical record's inherent biases and unexplained contradictions. Prologue. The general arrives in the afternoon. Half the city is there to greet him.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?